Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Cheers.
It was actually, cheers, definitely. Official start of this podcast. It was actually I posted a picture on Instagram earlier because, like, when I left Josh's earlier, the fucking moon, the way it looked was all, like, misty and creepy and shit. I was like, this is the perfect night. This is the perfect night.
Yeah, I saw that. As soon as I walked outside, it was all kind of like cloudy and stuff.
Yeah. The trees don't got fucking leaves left on them, so they look like, you know, like claws coming up from the ground, kind of.
Yeah.
Love that. Kind of. It can look cool, but what it also means is cold and death and destruction. So, at least one thing we never have to worry about is a wildfire. God. Shit is horrible.
There's, like, as much as I hate winter around here sometimes, there's nothing better than, like, just finding the most, like, obscure black metal. And
just, my God.
Like, driving, like, either at night or, like, just, like, out in the, you know, like the woods. Yeah.
Go to the woods. God, yes.
As soon as I got in the car, I was like, Behemoth. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
Did you hear the new one yet, Law?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard all of it yet, but I have liked what I've heard. Sounds like a little bit more clear, like a little bit, I don't know, like not as, some of their other albums sound a little muddy sometimes.
Yeah, it's, it's, honestly, it's been, pretty much ever since the show, it's been, like, between that and the new one and the Satanist. I've been back and forth. I actually watched the live DVD a couple days ago.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it fucking, like, it's like...
That show was so good.
Yeah.
Speaking of, that's the first thing we had to get to. Okay, so, I mean, I'm sure nobody pays close enough attention, but anybody who might out there when we did the video for after Ozzy, remember? We said that we were going to do more. Well, we didn't. Behemoth, we did. I ended up going to Guar alone. I didn't bring the camera. Behemoth, I was sick. And then Cannibal Corpse, you were a little under the weather, so we didn't really feel like doing fucking videos and stuff after those shows. But we definitely wanted to fucking talk about them. So, yeah, we'll start at Behemoth. That was the second time both of us have seen them within, like, the last year and a half, because we saw them open for Lamb of God. This is the first time I'd ever seen them headline.
Same.
Ever.
Yeah.
But we'll start before that. You saw the first band. I got there a little late. Who was the first band? Wolves?
Wolves in the Throne Room.
How were they?
For the set, like for the just for that show and that lineup, it was like it made sense to me.
Okay.
Because they were like pretty much straight like atmospheric black metal.
All right.
I guess, and it was just the whole. Like, I almost wished I would have caught the first half of the set or whatever, because the whole time it was, like, just kind of eerie and, like, you know, the fog stuff and, like...
Hell yeah.
They had, like, their keyboard player had this, like, this bass drum setup. It was kind of, like, tilted or whatever, and then, like, had some other percussive stuff, and, like, it was just cool to watch and just kind of stand in the crowd and just kind of, like, I don't know, just be a part of it, I guess, and stuff, and...
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, it was cool. I didn't really... I mean, I think I looked them up a little bit before we went and stuff, but it wasn't, I don't know. It's really, like, I mean, like, night like this would be perfect.
Right.
Like, put that on and stuff and just kind of, like, listen to it and stuff. I feel like I get more out of it when it's put with something else,
when the setting outside is, like, so fucking perfect for
it was just, like, took me an hour to, like, drive through all that stuff or whatever. And it was dark when I got there. It was just cold and, like, walking in and just seeing this fucking, like, just eerie, like,
a cold,
foggy,
dark November night.
Yeah, black metal is like, oh,
black
yes.
metal reigns supreme. Yes, it does.
So that was cool. Yeah, I like I said, I wish I would have, caught the first half of their set, because I feel like I would have, probably appreciated it a little more, but.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad they were good.
Yeah.
That's cool. I arrived just in the nick of time to see At the Gates. Now, Fucking.
Oh my god.
It's funny because when this tour got announced and I sent the text to you and Preston, you both were like, At the fucking Gates is gonna be there, holy shit. I didn't really know who At the Gates was. So I was like, yeah, but Behemoth's gonna be there too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was going for Behemoth, but you introduced me to them, and then this was a couple months ago. In that time, I bought Slaughter of the Soul. And I listened to that top to bottom a few times.
Oh, dude.
And I liked it a lot. Love that album.
Yeah.
So I got somewhat I knew some of their shit. And then but you really kind of gave me the perspective, honestly, because Slaughter of the Soul came out in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Which is mind-bending. I was totally unaware that anything that sounded anything like that existed in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, had no fucking idea. Unbelievable. Completely unbelievable. That's really insane to me. So fucking, that was really cool. And then seeing them was amazing. Like, they definitely, looked like they've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
But they fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Like, they were crazy good. So how was that for you?
I mean, I pretty much waited the whole time to hear Blinded by Fear. Like the whole show, and that was like the third to last song, and I was like, dude, chills. Mainly for their whole set, really, just because, like, I mean, kind of going back to what you're saying about the fact that it came out in the 90s, like, that is pretty much the album that gave us what melodic death metal is today. Like, that's kind of like the album that a lot of people talk about. It's pretty underrated in terms of, like, well, I don't know if it's underrated per se, but it's pretty widely regarded as, like the staple for, like, the reason that Darkest Hour and, like, Black Dahlia Murder and all that stuff, like, that sound and everything. And plus it's cool because, I mean, for whatever reason, I've always been into like the Swedish sound.
Me too.
Just that thick, like, guitar sound and stuff, and, like,
Are they Swedish?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew they were from somewhere else. I just didn't know where.
Yeah. And so yeah, just and that was the thing is they split up for a while, for a long time.
So that's why nobody thought they'd ever see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's initially why I thought that I'd never I'd never see the day where it's like they're actually, like, coming around here and stuff. And
right.
So yeah, and then their album when they were coming back came out a few years ago. It was 2012, I think. At War with Reality.
Okay.
Which is awesome. Like, for a full, like, comeback album, I guess. I mean, I don't know if you'd call it that, but
I mean, kinda.
Yeah.
If you broke up and got back together, yeah, that's a comeback album.
And so yeah, I mean, it was just special to me.
Yeah.
I guess, like, and how they ended their set was cool too. Like, there was both Behemoth and At the Gates really did, like, a lot of different stuff, like, stage wise, that I'd never really seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the part at the end of the last song where, like, everybody, like, slowly stops playing and, like, walks off the stage, and at the end of it, it's just, like, the guitarist and bass player.
Yeah.
And it, like, fades and stuff. I was like,
that was sick.
yeah, like, chill moment. Like,
yeah.
there was a lot of those where I was like, that's sick. Like, I really wish that I'd have thought of that, because that's awesome. Because, every band kind of does the same,
right.
Same kind of, like, bands. I mean, it's fine. It's
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
I
exactly.
guess. But it is cool to, see a band really, like, go, dive deep into, like, the whole idea of, putting on, like, an actual show,
mm-hmm.
concert-wise, instead of just, like, seeing a band on stage. It's really, like, theatrical. And
yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
And then
they were good.
Yeah.
They were really good. Blew me away, that's for sure. And that's someone who just recently found out who they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really fucking good. And the fact that so after their set, we run downstairs to check out their merch booth. And I noticed that they had signed new CDs. And I was like, all right, we're getting in line right now. Like, they were like $20 for a signed new CD. I was like, don't even think about it, because if we walk away from this, we're gonna regret it.
Yeah.
We go all the way up to the front line. I go first. I take a signed CD. She goes and gets the display one off the fucking wall. And I'm like, no way. I got the last one. No fucking way. That's fucked up. And then she points to another one I didn't even see sitting on the table and goes, that's our last one. So they had exactly 2 left, and the next 2 people in line were you and me.
Yeah.
It was fucking epic.
I was so fucking like salty at first because I thought that you took the last one. I was like,
did too. I was like, oh my god, no way. I was like, I feel like such an asshole.
Then I saw the other one. I was like, oh yeah.
I didn't see it at
Cool.
first.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Straight up, and then I was like,
yeah.
That is epic.
Yeah.
Fucking, that is insane. And the album's great.
Oh, dude.
Like, I listened to a good chunk of that, and I enjoyed it a lot.
It's really, like, vibey, I guess. It's really dark.
Yeah.
And it like, I mean, the one before it was too, but this one especially, it's, like, it'll put your, it's good to, like, get you, like, put you in a different headspace or whatever, and just kind of, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's fucking.
It's really atmospheric and stuff. And
I haven't listened to it all yet, but the first few tracks, I liked a lot. They were heavy.
The one thing about that band, and it's not a bad thing, but it's just something that took me a while to get used to, is the vocals.
See. Why?
Well, because to me, like, I don't know, with that kind of music, I'm so used to hearing, like, super aggressive, like, not that it isn't, it's a different style, like, over top of it and stuff, but sometimes, it's more so on the record, like, sometimes I just wish that there was a little bit more, like, like, power behind it, I guess. Okay. Like, there is some, during some points.
Okay, I see. Like, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
that's really, like, my only real critique of the new album and stuff is just, I don't know, just maybe and I mean, dude's awesome. Like, I'm not saying he's not or whatever, because they're legendary.
No power.
Yeah,
you're saying.
I mean,
turn it to 11, man.
Legendary band, like. But that's just kind of my preference or whatever,
For sure.
But it does, to a point, it does match the Swedish sound,
Yeah, definitely.
Because when I think Swedish, I think, like, I want to say In Flames is Swedish. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
I'll check on that. But yeah, that's that like Bodum's kind of the same way, even though they're Finnish. Yeah. So it kind of goes along and it matches that style or whatever. But sometimes I just wish it's like just
It's so crazy to me that the stuff coming out from that side of the world was so much different that early. Like,
yeah.
That's so crazy to me.
I always think about that.
Like Carcass?
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Really crazy. Anyway, Behemoth.
Yeah. So we talk about Eth Gates all day.
Right. So
man.
I didn't even get their new album until I was there. So I've only just recently heard some of it. But the show that they put on, it's just so fucking awesome. Like,
I mean,
oh my god. Woo.
The imagery and the
stage set.
Yeah.
Was incredible. And they sounded so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, so active on stage, running around all over the fucking place. Like, getting the way they had it set up, they had, like, the 3 members, like the guitarist, bassist, and lead guitar or rhythm guitar singer in, like, a straight line, and then they had, like, a little space to walk in front of their, like, mic platforms, so they were, like, coming even closer, you know what I mean? Like, that was fucking cool. Like, the way they had that set up.
We had the 2 I don't know, just their whole, like, I don't even know what you call those things. Like the little, they're not platforms, but they're like the,
what
know what
like
called.
the microphone things?
Yeah, the
things that the microphones run?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just I'd say just a crazy ass mic stand.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But
like, that's just a custom mic stand, pretty much. And it was like snake heads and pentagrams.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. I mean, think about, like, Ivan Moody's mic stand.
That's yeah, that's true.
Or the guy from John Davis from Korn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those were more set pieces kind of too.
I think that was more kind of what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Try to describe it.
Because I doubt they use those like on in the next set. Maybe they do, like, but in a new album cycle. You know what I mean? Maybe they have some different imagery, whereas these other guys use, John Davis and Ivan Moody use those fucking custom mic stands all the time. So, yeah.
What in the hell is going on?
Who fucking cares?
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good.
Stomping around upstairs.
Right.
No. There were a few songs I wish they would have played.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them, but hearing some of the songs from the new one live, because I listened to it a time or two before, and so I kind of knew some of it, and it brought more, like, it kind of same with like Parkway, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like seeing it live kind of made me get into it a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
Later on. So
yeah.
Yeah, it just, I mean, they're really, really good at, because I remember I moved up at one point, kind of just, I don't know, I was kind of like in the center or whatever. I just kind of wanted to, I don't know, like watch what was happening or whatever, because I couldn't really see over. There were some tall ass.
Yeah, there were.
And we were kind of over like in the corner and stuff, and so I just, I somehow, I was like, maybe like right in front of the pit,
okay,
whatever, so I could kind of like see the stage and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're really good at like doing these big, like these slower songs, but they do this thing where like they're playing the riff and all of them are just like standing still and they're staring like out into everything. And there's something about that is so like,
it's heavy.
yeah. I don't know what it is, but like I couldn't stop watching it. They're one of those bands that like they're just cool to watch.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of different like,
they really are cool to just watch.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
So
Behemoth at St. Andrews earlier in November was fucking incredible.
Hopefully I'll come back next year.
Me too. On something.
Yeah.
Something. Like, let's be real. Like, at this point,
I mean, the doors are pretty wide open for just monumental tours.
Yeah. Everyone's coming out with a new album next year. Everyone. Even Now Thy Art Is Murder just pretty much announced we're coming out with a new album.
Yeah.
Everyone's coming out with a new album next year. And there's no more big festival tours.
Yeah.
Which I feel like this would be if there was ever a year to bring them back, this is a damn good one with everybody coming out with new albums.
Yeah.
Like, god damn it, you could put together the craziest lineup ever fucking seen.
I have a feeling, like, because this year's been one of the best in recent memory.
Very much so. Very much so.
And I think that, kind of like you're saying, without the big like festivals or whatever, is kind of a void that's left or whatever, and so
there is. Just saying, someone out there could pick up the mantle.
Like there's a possibility for things and for lineups that aren't like
Slipknot could just do it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
They could just tour Knotfest, no problem. And that'd be it.
Yeah. That's all they'd have to do, really.
All they have to do. It's fucking ridiculous. It'd be amazing if they did. And the lineup they could have would be just unreal.
Ugh.
Unreal.
I wish that I would have been able to make the first year that they had it when it was in Iowa and
that would have been insane.
Like somewhere else.
That would have been insane, dude. Like absolute madness.
The very first
wasn't the wasn't that also the year that Randy?
I was about to say that.
Really?
Yeah.
He got let out of jail. And
Yeah.
that was the first show after he got out of jail. Was Lamb of God and Not Fest.
Fucking Sisto ended up going to that.
Oh my god.
He was like, dude, I couldn't. There was so much like dirt and stuff. I couldn't see anything at one point. Like it was just insane.
Just fucking chaos. Total fucking chaos. Jesus, that would have been amazing.
Speaking of chaos,
the next show we went to.
What a
couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like holy shit. See At the Gates Behemoth and then go see fucking Recorruptor.
Oh my
Lansing's
God.
own Recorruptor. Open for
Harm's Way. Hate Eternal.
Open for Hate Eternal.
And
open for the mighty. The gods. That we are now worthies. Cannibal fucking Corpse.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So I guess we'll start with Recorruptor. At the intersection in Grand Rapids. That's important to note for this review. But we'll just start with Recorruptor.
I mean,
Jesus Christ, man. Like, they
sad,
came out the gate.
Yeah. Sad that they had to cut their a song short. I was kind of bummed about that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean,
they tore that shit apart.
Yeah.
Like, they absolutely own that stage. It's unbelievably rare to actually see a full-on mosh pit for a local opener at that kind of a show, and they got it. Like,
well, I don't know. I think they've probably played there a few times, so I think maybe they've got, a little bit of a kind of a pull out there and stuff, I would imagine.
They fucking absolutely destroyed that stage. Like, they did such a good job.
Yeah.
Really fantastic. Yeah, I mean, just so fucking energetic, jumping around all over the place, like, making you want to move, like, and just being an opening, a local opener, is to get that reaction is insane.
Yeah. They, I think after that, I don't know if you saw that post about that big, 2-day thing in Ohio.
Yeah.
That was with Whitechapel and Black Dahlia. Yeah, I think they played the second day.
Jesus Christ.
And, yeah. So they're
moving.
Yeah.
They're playing every show they can. That's what you gotta be doing.
I mean, plus it's...
That's what everybody should be doing.
To me, it's just awesome to see, bands and, people and friends that I come up with and stuff and kind of doing it and, taking it to the, that next step and, playing with, I mean, Cannibal, how much more... what else do you do? Yeah. And so I don't know. It was just awesome. I was just happy for him, just to see him kind of just rip that just all apart. It was awesome.
Yeah, I love watching them live.
Yeah.
So I want to see them on more shit for sure.
Shouts out to Clint for hooking me up with the ticket last minute.
Oh, the lead singer, right?
Yeah.
The lead singer.
Who I felt, I don't know, I didn't really get a chance to say anything to him because I don't know, just kind of busy or whatever.
I mean, yeah.
That day, I felt kind of shitty about it to a point, but it's all good. I'm pretty sure I talked to the rest of them. So.
Yeah, we saw the rest of them. I'm pretty sure. It's fucking great.
And then, Harm's Way, they were cool.
Yeah, I'd never heard of them.
I hadn't either. I
don't know who they are.
I think the day after I listened to their last album, or I think their only album they have out.
Kinda hardcore-ish almost.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the right setting. I mean, well, I don't know, it made sense, I guess, to have a band like that on it, but at the same time, I don't really feel like the response was quite.
It would have been put it this way, it would have been a very different response had we been in Detroit.
That's, yeah.
So, very different depending on the city.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, like they weren't. I didn't stand there and go, "Oh, these guys suck." I didn't think that at all.
No.
But they kind of, I don't know, they just kind of fell flat for me for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
There's just something that, like, something about it. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I was just like, all right, well, I think Recorruptor was a little better, but all right.
I mean, to me, I think that just the riffs, like Riff City,
Yeah.
really, like they had some of their songs were really cool, and their drummers was pretty fun to watch too.
Oh yeah.
He had a lot of different like breaks and stuff, and like it was just made me want to do more of that sort of thing. Like both these shows really kind of got me thinking about just
different things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff that I that I like to see, and stuff that kind of gets people moving and everything. And
fuck yeah.
So, but yeah, they had one or two songs that stuck out to me with live, and I think more so, I kind of wish that I would have like kind of paid attention to them a little bit more before we saw them, just because again, I feel like I would have appreciated it a little bit more.
Fair enough.
Mostly because, I mean, sometimes watching hardcore bands, like it's only really, like, you can only get really into it if you know like the big songs or whatever and stuff. And
yeah, it's true. I can see that.
But I thought the music was cool.
Hell yeah.
I could, and I just like to point out that I was not expecting just this monster of a dude as their vocalist. Like, he walks out on stage, and I was like, holy shit. Like,
he looked like he was wearing like a muscle bodysuit.
Dude, it was ridiculous.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, you have done either all of the steroids under the sun, or you are wearing a bodysuit.
Yeah.
Because your head doesn't match your body, and neither does your bottom half. Like, something's going on here.
Yeah.
But hey, to each his own.
It was a monster, though.
He was a goddamn ape of a human being. That's for goddamn sure.
So, and then
our boys, Eric Rotham and the gang.
What?
Hate Eternal.
Eric Rutan?
Rutan.
Rotham?
I said Rotan or Rotham. Yeah.
Rotham?
Yeah.
Whatever. Regardless, yeah.
Rutan. Eric Rutan and the boys. Yeah.
In a word, fast.
Like lightning.
Yeah. Like, that band is too fast. Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, they are. They're very fast. Hate Eternal. So good though. So fucking good, and it's so cool to see them finally. Especially after like learning about them and seeing, the fact that Eric Rutan produced some of my favorite Cannibal albums.
Some of my favorite just metal albums in general.
Yeah.
Dude is just.
He's a really good producer.
Yeah.
Like really good, and it was really awesome to see him do his shit live. I don't know. I don't have any Hate Eternal albums. I don't know a lot by them, but I felt it watching them. They're a band that you don't really have to know. Like, that you're seeing something crazy in front of you happen, like, while you're watching them. You don't necessarily need to, like, know all the songs. And that was one of those, like, it's just really good. Everything was tight sounding, Yeah. Loud, fast, and hard. Like,
I have I Monarch from them, which is an early one, which I haven't really listened to that much, and then Phoenix Amongst the Ashes, which is probably my favorite of theirs.
Okay.
Until I heard the newest one.
You liked it?
Oh, dude.
'Cause you bought that there.
Well, that I thought that was the most recent one, but it isn't.
Really?
Yeah, there's another one that's even better than Infernus, which is the one I got, which is still really good. Like there's a lot of like standout songs on it. To me, I've actually been listening to it quite a bit this week. But yeah, the newest one is, I mean, like I think they played like 3 or 4 songs from it. One of which was, I think it was towards the end of their set. And I remember we both were kind of like taken back by it.
I think I know which one you're talking about, yeah.
Holy shit. Like, that was sick. I don't know what that was, but...
Whatever I'm watching is fucking dope right
yeah.
now.
And for a 3-piece.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. I also forgot that the drummer for Origin was playing with them too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And they're crazy.
Hell
They're like Rings of Saturn tier, like
okay.
tech death basically.
Okay.
One of the big, like, well, I don't know if they're like somewhere between like death metal and like technical death metal, I guess. I don't know. They're like a really fast band. So yeah, that was sick.
Hell yeah.
And it honestly, it made me more, because before like I was into them and stuff. Like I was, some of their albums are really abrasive. Like as far as like tone wise and stuff, they're really like you gotta want to hear just nothing but blast beats for like 35 minutes,
right?
And like really fast shit. But like seeing them live and then going back and like hearing the newest one, which I'm probably gonna buy at some point, and then listening to the other one that I got, it pretty much made me more of a fan of them.
Hell yeah!
That's it. So
a little bit more like like more going on musically than just blast beats and kind of shit. Hell yeah!
Because it is, I mean, talking like 200 BPM range to like
right.
Nothing but machine guns and like it's awesome, but it takes a lot. like
you said, it's very abrasive sounding.
If ever there was a word to describe that band, it is that. Like,
hell yeah.
And just fast as fuck.
I definitely I really enjoyed watching them. I need to pick up some of their albums. I'll go based on your recommendations, probably.
Yeah.
But I definitely like to see them again. Yeah. For sure.
I'd say probably their last 3
would be a good place to start.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The thing about them is they have like their albums as a whole are really solid. And they always have. It seems like the further you get into the album, the more like you kind of pick out and stuff, and there's some really like gigantic sounding moments in some of the songs. Like there's some really like
hell yeah,
like, holy shit, like just epic sounding. Like I'm trying to think of how to describe like who else does it, I guess. But like as you're listening to it, like it all builds and stuff, and then like at the very end of the song, it just kind of opens up, and like it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
That really just, I think Dimmu does it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
I'm trying to think of who else. I don't know. There's just
Die Art kind of.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Lamb of God sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. They're
Clouds Over California is kind of an example of it.
Yeah. The way it ends and stuff, and
God, I love that shit. Okay, and finally, so Hate Eternal. I mean, okay,
just go see him.
Yeah,
like.
Just look, people. Unless something crazy happens, all of our show reviews are probably gonna be like 5 out of 5. Go ahead. So, yeah. I mean, that's just the situation. Baphomets. Like, for Dimmu, we got 5 out of 5 Baphomets. But now, we've gone through Recorruptor, Harm's Way, and Hate Eternal.
We could do, sorry, real quick. I don't know why I just thought of this, but, like, you know how, sometimes you spell the word, like, or the U has, like, umlauts? I don't know if that's how you say it.
It's German.
Yeah.
Umlaut, yeah.
So, like, use the word brutal, but use, like, brutal with, like,
an umlaut?
five U's, like, 5 umlauts or whatever. So it's, like, 5, like, I don't know. Maybe it's stupid.
I'm trying to think how it would work, though. I get where you're going. I see where you're going.
Maybe it's the captain talking. I don't know, but
Morgan's coming out. Arthur Morgan. Did you play Red Dead Redemption 2?
Different.
Did you watch those South Parks, the newest South Parks?
A couple of them, yeah. I think like the
Red
first
Dead
3.
Ones?
No, I didn't watch that.
Oh my god. Yeah. The last, 2 have been about Red Dead Redemption and Man Bear Pig, and it's fucking incredible. Jesus Christ. You guys play Red Dead Redemption 2? It's so funny. Alright.
Anyway.
Cannibal Corpse. Cannibal Corpse. Alright. Like, where do you... First of all, this band comes out, alright, and plays 18... Plays like an hour and a half. Plays 18 song set. Insane.
Yeah.
Off the bat, that's insane. Okay? Like, I've been to a lot of concerts this year. I don't think I've seen any single band play for a straight hour and a half yet. I mean, TSO always plays for 2 hours, but...
I think the longest is probably,
like an hour. Like Ozzy, Priest, all them played for about an hour. Slayer played for longer.
Yeah.
Slayer played for an hour and a half, too. Actually, yeah, Slayer... Yeah. So, the kings of thrash metal and the kings of death metal... That's why they're kings.
Just playing the...
Because they do not stop. They are relentless. Fuck.
They're another fun band to watch, too.
Who?
Cannibal.
Oh, my God, dude. Like, to actually see Corpse Grinder do his headbanging is like magic.
So that was the first time I'd ever seen him.
Oh, my God. That was the first time you'd ever seen him. That's right. Yeah. Oh, my God.
And
Ever.
Yeah.
You'd never even seen him open at a festival. Jesus Christ.
The one chance that I had was the time that they played Mayhem Fest, and I missed out on it.
So they were one of your white whales.
Both them and Behemoth.
Well, you already saw Behemoth last year.
I was more so because I think both those bands played the same year at Mayhem Fest.
Fair enough.
And
wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if I went to that. Wait, what was that?
That was damn. Maybe?
Is it this one? Damn it, there's no date on it.
Let me think about. That was I think that was the second year.
I didn't go the first year, but I went the second year. I think I was at that one. Because I think Lamb of God was there. And that's the main reason why I went. And Slipknot wasn't headlining. It was Slayer or something. Yeah. It was 2009.
It was so Manson, Slayer, Killswitch.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's the year I got backstage.
Dude, so all of these bands at one time were
white whales.
Yeah. On the same stage, same year at Mayhem Fest was Cannibal Corpse, Job for a Cowboy, Behemoth, Black Dahlia Murder, Whitechapel.
Damn.
That whole I was so bummed that I missed that because I was like, dude, all of those bands were, because that was Evisceration Plague, like Deflorate. I think that was the year. I don't know which Whitechapel album was out. I think New Era Corruption was out.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
That shit was almost a decade ago.
Shut up. That's sad shit. Feels so old.
Isn't that fucked up? Oh my God. It was so fucked up to me. That's why I went to so many shows this year. I had to prove to myself I could still do it.
Yeah.
And I almost lost my hearing in my right ear. But I didn't.
I mean, but I didn't. Anyway, yeah.
Only time I've ever actually been injured at a concert was at a fucking Medica show. Or was it Ballgraith?
That was when somebody broke your nose.
Yeah.
That was Magnolia.
Magnolia, that's right.
It was like one of our first shows.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I take some pride in that.
You should, as you should. I kind of, it's kind of like
it wasn't.
I'm surprised it didn't happen yet. At that point, you know what I mean? Like I'd been in a lot of pits and outside on concrete for Hatebreed, like the whole nine.
Yeah.
And never been hurt, always unscathed.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, eventually something was gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Not that I would ever want that to happen, but the fact that.
I mean, that happened.
I mean, you know. And it was like I don't even remember what show it was. It wasn't even.
It was at the Loft.
Yeah.
You guys were opening for something.
I don't remember which one it was.
I don't remember either.
A long time ago, I remember that.
So long.
I think I still have that picture too somewhere.
Good.
I think it's on the other phone that I have.
Oh, good.
I still want to use that as merch or something.
You
at
should.
One point.
You should. Fuck. What were we talking about?
Cannibal Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse. Yeah.
In good nice segue talking about broken bones and stuff, and it's like, oh, all right, well,
break your fucking nose.
I mean, to hear the way some of those songs sounded live after listening to them for ever,
yeah,
and then to like see, just to it was one of those things where it almost felt like it wasn't like I wasn't actually watching Cannibal. Like it was just kind of like it's like just weird to me, like in the best way though. Yeah, kind of. I was like, man, I don't know.
Is this happening right now?
For one, like I don't know how I missed them for so long. You know, one reason or another, but I mean, just the set list and
oh my God.
The hits, man. Like not even really hits, but just like
every.
I mean,
pretty much every song you want to hear. Almost. Like, there's a couple, obviously, but there always is going to be. You know what I mean? And I haven't seen them in a very long time. The last time I saw them, I think, was at the Majestic in Detroit right after... It was the Metal Blade 25th anniversary tour, and I think they were touring Kill.
That was the one I got into them on.
Yeah.
And Make Them Suffer was the first song from them I'd ever heard. And the fact that they played it was like...
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That's so awesome. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Because it honestly, I don't even really remember where I heard it from or what. I just remember, like... It was at a time where like I was kind of starting to get into heavier stuff, and I was just kind of, you know, just diving in or whatever, and like I just saw it was just Kill like on the album title or whatever, and I was like, because I mean I'd heard about them. I mean, how do you know? Everybody knows about them if you don't listen to death metal or just metal, you know, in general. You've seen Ace Ventura,
right? Yeah, everyone's seen Ace Ventura.
And so just to hear that live and stuff, and then and some of the other songs that I've been listening to for a long time, like, you know,
Wretched Spawn.
Yeah, Scourge of Iron, God. Like,
or Stripped, Raped, and Strangled.
Yeah.
Oh, Hammer Smash Face.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Like boom, boom,
it
boom,
just,
body shots, just body shots, working the body, fucking. Oh my God! It was, and then I have never been more into Cannibal Corpse than I have been this year. My introduction to Cannibal Corpse, they used to be.
I'd say probably same.
Same, fair enough.
Yeah.
There used to be a little fucking CD store on the corner of Abbott and Albert in downtown East Lansing, and it's now like a tattoo shop or some shit, but it used to be a place called CD Warehouse. And I bought a lot of CDs there. Like that's the place I bought my copy that I still own of Back in Black. And just a fuck ton of shit, honestly, before it closed. One day though, I went in there and I was looking for something heavy. But I was looking for cover art. I was looking for something that looked I was looking for something that looked crazy, all right? And I stumbled across the Cannibal Corpse section, and I saw the cover of the Wretched Spawn, and it freaked me out. I saw it, I realized what I was looking at, and then I kept going as if I had just accidentally found someone's like porn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like the feeling you got. Same kind of like, holy shit,
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to see that. I'm not supposed to see that. That's not. And then I go back to it and you're like, oh my God. Like,
and then you open it and it just like keeps going and it keeps like.
I'm still in the store. I'm still in the store. So I'm sitting there looking at this thing like, if it freaked me out, what's it gonna do to this cashier?
Yeah.
So
I've had moments like that.
I bought that album hearing unheard, like just based off the fucking Vince Locke cover art, and fucking took it home and listened to that shit. My mind was blown because it was fucking incredible.
Oh, like, dude.
It's my favorite album by them to this day. Fucking insane. So that was like my introduction to Cannibal Corpse. And then I kind of like tried to dig around with some other shit, but like I just really liked that album. So I just stuck with that one for a while and never really got any deeper into it. Until really like, and then I saw him a few times back in the day. And then fucking kind of fell off from them a little bit, and then this year I've just been so into everything that I really got into them, and I watched the DVD and got all the albums. Now I have every Cannibal album, and I've been really into some of their more recent shit, like honestly kind of thanks to fucking Alexa. Because we had an Alexa at work, and I'd be working alone, and I would just tell Alexa to play death metal sometimes. And she would play a bunch of, like, newer than I'd been familiar with Cannibal Corpse. And I was like, God damn it! Like, Killer Become, for example. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I need to go back through and listen to more Cannibal. And I just fell in love with everything.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't seen them since Skeletal Domain came out or the song Killer Become. So to see Fire Up the Chainsaws, and the fact that he even goes, it's time to fire up the chainsaws.
Yeah, that was sick.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, like, how do you, in terms of phrases to get people amped for a song, I don't see any topping that.
Yeah.
It's time to fire up the chainsaw. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God. And then it's just, they're still so fucking good. That's the thing.
Yeah.
How damn good they sound. And how they're still doing everything they, like, besides having, like, a cleaner, nicer set, they still are doing everything the same they did when I saw them, like, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They're still, like, as fucking hard and as fast, doing everything the same on stage. Like, amazing. Amazing. Like, when you consider that Slayer's retiring, you know what I mean? And all these other bands are kind of, like, taking a step back in some ways. Fucking Cannibal Corpse is still just holding the line. You know what I mean? And it's so awesome, and I love it so much, and I'm never gonna miss them again. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go to every fucking show that they come. That the day we got home, they announced that Decibel magazine tour, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I saw that, and I was like, ready for round 2.
I was so hoping when I was looking through that. I was like,
and then they didn't. They're not coming here.
Yeah.
God damn it.
To me, I think because the one song was the first I think it was either that one or one of the other ones off that album. But the one that got me really into him was Evisceration Plague.
Love that album.
That whole album to me is...
Love that album.
Like, you know...
That was...
I could put that on and listen to it multiple times and just...
That was one of the first, 4 or 5 songs. That was the first, song I really knew inside and out that they played at that show and that set list.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like...
he does... See, here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. When you go to see Lamb of God live, and they're playing, what's the one? Fuck.
There's a lot of them.
No, Off Ashes.
It's
one of the ones with the long scream. What one has the long, Laid to Rest? Is it Laid to Rest?
Has one in it?
I think yes. No, it is Laid to Rest. It is Laid to Rest. The long scream when it's like in the middle of the song. There's I can't remember the word, but there's a really long scream over the guitar. Live, it's pretty rare that he actually does it.
Yeah.
When you go to see Iron Maiden, it's pretty rare to see Bruce Dickinson do the Number of the Beast scream.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever...
We saw it. The time we saw him at the Palace, he did it.
Oh,
and that was the best I'd ever seen him do it live. That time, that one time we saw him. But every time previous to that, he didn't do it all the way that I'd seen him. That was the first time I'd ever seen him do it live. Fucking... Corpse Grinder... The long screaming Evisceration Plague, he hits perfectly. Oh my god!
Almost just sounded like the recording of it.
Cool.
Dude,
it really did. And it's just because they're so tight.
Oh yeah.
They're so good at playing together at this point. To see all of them this lineup in particular, because it's this lineup going right now are all of my personal favorite. This is my favorite lineup that's ever been of Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, I agree.
Personally to me.
Yeah.
I'm sure lots of people have differing opinions. Personally to me, this right touring... And the crazy part is the one guitarist with the side of the stage we were standing, who didn't really headbang that much, but it was okay, because he was still communicating with the crowd, you could tell.
Yeah.
Fucking... That was the one that had left the band and came back. So there was a good chunk of time where he was gone too. But to have him back and everybody else, this is my favorite lineup. So it's really exciting to see that too.
I'll say that one of the things that I've really enjoyed about it is just taking a step back and just watching just watching everybody play and stuff.
Yeah.
Seeing Alex Webster.
Yeah.
Just
and Pat.
Yeah. All of them.
On the drums.
Really, yeah.
I was really watching him.
Yeah.
On the drums, and it was crazy. And but mainly Alex, Pat, and fucking Corpse Grinder were the main 3 that I was really focusing on. But during the solos, the guy, I think Rob is his name, this guy on our side of the stage, fucking some of the solos he was busting out. I was like, oh, insane. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect, sir.
I will.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God.
I will say that I think that, as a live lineup, I'd say is probably, I'm biased because it's the only time I've ever seen them live or whatever. But, in terms of their writing and their albums and stuff, I'd say maybe because I think the guy he left at one point is Jack Owen. I'm pretty sure he left at one point and went to Deicide. I'm pretty sure
there was one guy that did that. Yeah,
I think he was their guitar player on Ratchet Spawn. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
a couple of other ones.
Okay,
so aside from studio albums and stuff, I think they're that's kind of a different discussion, really. But as far as the live lineup and stuff, I think this is definitely it just sounds really tight, and it's just super heavy, and
so fucking good.
And you could tell they were there's this thing about, like when you see like death metal bands or whatever, it's supposed to be like, like intense and stuff, but like they're just a fun band to watch to me.
Yeah.
They were just having fun.
Definitely were intense, but
Yeah.
you could tell they were having fun too.
Yeah.
Like, and I know, like, it's like, yeah, like there are certain moments watching them, especially now. Like the back of my t-shirt says 30 years.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So watching them now, it really, like, think I said on the way there, to me, in my personal little means nothing to anyone but me book, to me, Cannibal Corpse, to me, is on the same level as Slayer. To me. I understand that worldwide thrash metal is a much more accepted and popular form of heavy metal than death metal. I get all this. I get Cannibal Corpse. They choose. I feel like at this point they choose not. I genuinely feel like if Cannibal Corpse was like, it's our big like, not our farewell, not that, but it's our big anniversary tour or something like that, I really feel like they could sell out the Fillmore. I really in my heart do. But yet they come through every year in these smaller venues. I get all that. But in Slayer's selling out stadiums. I get that. But to me, in terms of music and what they've done and their impacts and all these things, to me, they're on the same level. So seeing them and watching them live you kind of get lost in watching it. Kind of like when I saw, like, when you watch, it's like flow state. It's like when you're watching someone in that state. And and I felt the same way when I saw Tony Iommi. Because I was on his side of the stage and I could see his fingers on the guitar neck. Like, fucking, I could see, like, this time we could see fucking Alex Webb and fucking Pat. I could see all of Pat's facial expressions slam around the fucking drums and everything. And fucking, or Paul. Is his name Paul?
Yeah.
If I haven't fucking this up the whole time. Pat is, I think, like one of the guitarists. Look this up. God damn it, BJ, you Burton, you fucknut. God, shit.
Well, Paul's their drummer.
Okay,
I know that.
Paul.
So
I have been fucking this up. Every time I've said Pat so far up to this point, I've meant Paul. I'm sorry, listeners. Shit.
You call yourself fan? No, I'm kidding.
I'm a fucking idiot. God damn it. Hold on 1 second. I need to grab some fucking mix. No edits. No edits. No cuts. God damn it.
So Pat.
Pat's the guitarist?
Yeah,
okay.
Pat O'Brien.
So at least there's a Pat in the fucking band.
Lead guitarist, Paul Mazurkowitz is their drummer.
I'm sorry, Paul and Pat.
Rob.
I'm sorry.
They're
easy, never going to hear this.
Easy mix. They might,
They might. Know. If they do, we are not worthy.
Just so it's clear. But to me, it's interesting because, like, and I didn't really think about this until now, but when you see a band like like Cannibal, that's pretty much like straight death metal, and then it's a different vibe kind of show as compared to like Behemoth.
Oh yeah,
which is very like theatrical, in a way and stuff. And I feel like with Cannibal, it was really like stripped back, like just like let's just like.
We're just gonna murder with metal.
Yeah.
Murder with metal. Like, I felt like leaving that show. I felt like I got murdered with metal. Like.
Yeah, that was.
God damn it! It was so fucking good.
Yeah, and like I remember we were standing looking at merch and stuff, and I remember it said like 3 decades. 3
decades. Yeah,
I was like, what? Really? Like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because that was. I think we were talking about it before. Yeah. Before I think I drive there, I think I said like close to like 30, and now it's 30 years, man. Like
30 years of gore. Oh my god, so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're still going that hard and doing it and sounding so fucking good, it just makes me love them so much more. And it's crazy because there are even things that, like, I wish they had done that they didn't do. And I'm not talking about songs. I'm talking Corpse Grinder never said Michigan or Grand Rapids once.
I didn't catch that.
I was, because that's what I always try to get for our Lost in the Dark Instagram videos. I always try to get them saying Michigan or something like that somewhere in the videos.
Never
so
did?
I paid attention, and he never did once. I was like, but yet it didn't, like, so you can, even more stripped back, to your point, like, and still just so, it just, like, I literally woke up the next day wanted to go again, like, because it was so awesome to see them, so much fun, and hopefully, like, they'll be back next November, like, I really hope this is a yearly thing, like, that has been the last handful of years, and this is the first year we hopped on board, so I'd love to, I would absolutely love it if next year they came back to Detroit, you know, and back to the Masonic. I would love to see them at the Masonic, or no, the Majestic, again, the Majestic Theater.
I feel...
Where we saw Bodum.
Oh.
Last November.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that's where
really
I saw
cool.
Cannibal.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Damn. That is a cool venue.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird. Like,
love that place.
Yeah, it was really kind of odd to me, like, just the whole setup and stuff.
It is a weird-ass setup, but, like, once you're in there, it's just fucking open floor, and you can pretty much get up so close you can put your hands on the stage. Like, there's nothing, there's no guards, there's no security guards, but nothing bad ever happens either, like, that I've ever heard of there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking, I hope they come. Yeah. So, Cannibal Corpse, amazing.
And they're, like,
go see them on their tour.
In terms of original, like, traditional death metal bands that are still around from that era, aside from, like...
There definitely are some.
Yeah. Because I know...
Deicide.
Yeah.
Still around. Morbid Angel. The Holocausts. Toxic and Nuclear.
Is
there a Toxic Holocaust and Nuclear Holocaust band?
Yeah, there is. I didn't think about that.
Napalm Death.
Yeah.
Except they're not like death metal.
Yeah, they're more like grindcore.
They're not. They're not. I wouldn't say they're traditional death metal. Yeah.
You know, like I think Suffocation.
Suffocation. Oh, they're I think they're on like a farewell tour.
Yeah.
You want to know what's crazy?
I was kind of bummed that I missed out on that because that was a really
Did it come here?
Sick lineup. Yeah.
Damn. You want to know who went to? It's just a weird thing, and I only know this because I'm a fan. The night we went to Cannibal Corpse, what's her name? The lead singer of A Cursed Creator that we saw at Metal Fest.
Yeah.
I think her name's like Chelsea Strickland or something like that. I
I
follow them, all of that, the fucking bands on Instagram, and I try to follow the band members too, because a lot of times they'll post video like behind the scenes shit basically on tour, and I think that's dope. Especially Bodum, but they'll post behind the scenes on recording and all that, and I think that's sweet.
Yeah.
So, she went to that Suffocation show the same night we were at Cannibal Corpse.
Oh yeah.
And in a different state, obviously. And I'm pretty sure I saw another... Yeah, I think she posted about it saying it was awesome. And then I saw some, like, Rolling Stones wrote up an article about them or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
About this tour that they're on right now or something. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah. I saw something about that. But yeah, they're still going for another moment at least. But yeah, I get your point. Well, what was your point?
Just in terms of just original like bands from that era that are still, you know, either like most of the original lineup or like completely, you know, reformed or whatever, like, and that are still, you know, going this long and stuff is. I mean, there's not many out there and stuff, and to hear that they're, you know, as tight as they are, and still with every album only getting better to me.
Me too.
Like, you know, because I always felt like, and it's odd to me that a band like them can you know, make like Wretched Spawn. You're like, oh, this is like sickest shit ever or whatever, and like, you know, keep like listening to it and stuff, and then the next album is like even better than that, and you're like, oh, how are they gonna top that? And the next one's even better. You know, it's like, it's rare to me that it's as consistent after so long. You know what I mean? Like,
it's extraordinarily rare.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably rare, and usually only comes from bands that do things like hold the line and never change, like a Slayer.
Yeah.
And kind of part of it feels like they, like, if you go back and listen to fucking Eaten Back to Life and shit, like, those are really fucking good albums, like almost unbelievably good for the time that they were released in terms of how good they sound and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's but there almost is a sense of like bands like Cannibal, and that started way back then with this extreme form of music, had an ear for something before the technology was available for them to really create what they heard in their head.
Mm.
And it seems like as the years progress, the technology is catching up to where they're able to make these extreme sounding albums, but we're now able to catch the nuances because of the high production value and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Of the notes and everything. Nothing's getting blurred together anymore, you know?
Yeah. I mean, wow. Kind of like in line with what you were talking about. You know, I think, because I mean, you know, you got 94 was the Bleeding.
Jesus.
96 was so.
What, the Bleeding was the first one with Corpse Grinder.
That was the last one with Barnes on it.
The
Vile,
Bleeding?
yeah.
Okay.
Vile was the first one with Corpse Grinder.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So,
right.
And then Gallery of Suicide, and then somewhere. So I mean, these, I feel like these were all really good. Like, you know, because they
are.
Yeah. Because I found myself going back to Vile a lot. And I was super just, I don't know. I was pretty excited that they played Devoured by Vermin.
Yeah.
Just, that song is just sick as fuck. But yeah, and then it's, I mean, 2004, The Wretched Spawn. 2006 was Kill, and the Evisceration Plague, and Torture, and Skeleton. Like, it just, I mean.
Now, see,
like,
something interesting. Oh, The Wretched Spawn was 04.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. See, because in between The Wretched Spawn and Kill, and then to Evisceration Plague, like during that time span from 2004 to 2009, that's when fucking this kind of fucking technology was really moving.
Yeah.
And getting to the masses and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the first iPhone came out in 2007. So, yeah. Like, that's fucking insane to me.
So let's say 2009, I guess.
So yeah, but yeah, it's just, I feel like that's part of the reason why they're able, like, I mean, but also the songwriting is fucking really good still. Like,
what I mean, it's not really surprising to me because I mean, just with the natural, you know, order of things and just the way that the world is, like, you know, you think like, oh well, how far can you take writing songs about, you know,
anything,
horror movies and stuff, and like kind of like how they started off, and it's like, well, I guess you can span it over the course of like 30 years,
yep.
You know, and still continue to, like, it's that consistency that's really,
and be,
you know,
in terms of the heavy metal culture, be a cultural icon.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where you have people like me purchasing $100 prints from cover artists of your albums. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like,
I mean, and so 2009, I'd say, I mean, that was, I guess, just for reference. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, 2000, because what was, let's see. So this was like Evisceration Plague era, so like 2009. So in that same year, like, Blood Oath, Suffocation came out. I always fuck
Evangelion.
Up. Yeah. I don't know how to ever say it, but yeah, that came out.
What
Carving
else?
Out the Eyes of God.
Goat
Pray for Villains came out that year. Like, Death Rate came out. The first Flesh God album came out, so like, yeah, it was.
Any Bodum?
I just looked up death metal. I'm sure probably.
Actually, I think Blood Drunk came out in 2008. Where's it again? Hellhounds on my trail. God.
Wrath came out that year.
Wrath?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which, by the way, I went back and listened to that like today.
I did that like 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
It just like I forget. First, I think it's one of their quickest albums. Like it's pretty short.
So good.
But yeah, I mean,
Choke Sermon.
Yeah.
Fake Messiah.
Yeah.
Grace. Dead Seeds.
Yes. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, like I forgot about a lot of those songs. There's honestly a couple of their albums, like anything. I need to go back and really give a re-listen to everything after Wrath, especially Verum Strong or whatever. Stumundrong, yeah. I did not listen to that very many times, and Adler just gave an interview saying that was his favorite Lamb of God album. And he put like Ashes like low on his list. I was like, what?
Oh, I think it was that the one that I don't know which interview that was. I think I heard that same one.
It might have been probably Metal Injection. I didn't hear it. I saw it.
Oh, okay.
I think it was on Metal Injection.
Wow, that kind of surprises me.
It's like, man, that's my favorite. It could, if someone were to say that my favorite metal album of all time is Ashes of the Wake, I don't know if I would argue it. Put it that way. Like top to bottom, like there are. See, it's like I have like a category of favorite albums, and then another category of like albums that I think are top to bottom perfect.
We'll call those God tier.
God tier.
I always like that.
Yeah,
that term.
Yes, I like that too. Lost in Dark's God tier albums. We're talking like Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah.
Like, top to bottom, perfect. I would say Ashes of the Wake is there too.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, that's like, I always, and the reason I took that term was because I always see those posts online that are like, it starts with like bottom tier, like basic, like classics or whatever, and then it's got like 2000s era, like, I don't know, something like okay stuff, and then like middle of the road, like meh albums, and they got like good and then great and then like God tier.
God tier.
It's like like universally, but yeah, I mean like universally just widely accepted as like
almost like Raining Blood.
Classics, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really like the term classics. Timeless, I guess, is more.
Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah. Really, any Pantera, really.
Okay.
I've been listening to them a lot this week for some reason.
Oh.
More so
good.
that record. I haven't really gone back to it in a
Cowboys?
long time. Yeah. It's definitely one of the more like I just think the songs on it are really good. And it's not super aggressive. Like it's one of the, I mean it is to a point. There's a lot of really like aggressive stuff on it, but it's not like, I think Vulgar kind of took that next step and then it just got heavier and heavier and stuff. But that's kind of why I usually listen to all of them in order, because I'm weird. I usually start with Cowboys and then kind of move into eventually end up on. I think the only one that I haven't really spent that much time with is Reinventing the Steel.
I don't think I've heard that one at all.
It's really cool. Like there's a lot. I mean, you can't really go wrong with it, I guess. But it's as far as like, the big like standout songs on it and stuff. There's not. It's just a heavy album to me. And that could change, going back and listening to it, because I haven't heard it in a while, but
fucking crazy.
So yeah.
God, there's so much greatness. It's insane to me. Well, so normally, right about here, now that we're done with our reviews, we would fucking probably close up the show. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have an extra chunk for you, because tonight we finally have an as promised. Many, many moons ago, when we were doing the album artwork episodes, we left off, and I think, yeah, we left off on episode like 3, I think.
Really?
Hold on.
This is that long ago?
No. Like album artwork episode 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let me just.
I was like, what?
No,
really?
Yeah.
Like.
Sorry. Hold on one second. Let's see here. Which one? Album artwork artist 2. Yeah, so it must have been 3. Somewhere. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, we left that one off fucking promising a final one, at least. One more. About Black Dahlia Murder. And Aaron finally brought his reference guide here. Some book.
Yeah. So this, I don't know. They sold it on. I don't know if it was on their actual website or the Indie Merch website, but it was this book that they had for a while that was. So Dan Mumford, who was the guy that does, or for a while, I think, 2007, 2017, so the first
up until last year, possibly longer.
Yeah. Pretty much did all of their merch stuff and some of their, I mean, he's got a pretty distinct art style, I think. I mean, anybody who's been following him for any amount of time has seen their artwork, or like has a shirt of his and stuff. And so yeah, and as far as like, I mean, I don't know if you ever found anything on who does their cover art.
I did.
Did you?
Yes. So Dan Mumford just did their t-shirt art. And they, I know they did stage backdrops and stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in here that kind of like, cause each it's a collection of, I'd say, probably 30 different art designs over the last, pretty much since they started, and where was I going with this? So yeah, I guess as far as their merch stuff goes, he's done a lot of it, and he's had I'm pretty sure he still does it, but I think since I don't know, since probably Ritual, I'd say, I feel like they've, whatever, I'd say, I'd say probably their last 2 albums, I think they've definitely split off and done more, actual, like, different design, more like stripped down stuff, because this, like, the stuff that he did, that Dan Mumford did for him, was really, like, eye-catching, and it really, like, there was a certain, distinctive
look to
style to it, yeah. And I think they've kind of stripped it back and kind of went with more of like a I don't know, I guess more so like a traditional style of merch. Like, they do have a lot of different, like, surreal merch designs, I guess. I don't know if that's a good term to use, but
Okay.
because it seems like they've kind of moved away from it a little bit, especially more so with Nightbringers. It seems like they've had a lot of their designs are pretty cool, pretty different for that one. They have they just put out this new hoodie that's kind of sick. It's got the big Detroit D on it. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, you should.
It's be able to describe it a little better, but it's all like bones and flesh and stuff, and it says. Let me see.
Well, speak real quick. Nightbringer is their first album, right?
No, that's their latest. That's their newest one.
Well, what's their first?
Unhallowed.
Oh, I was going in the opposite order then. Sorry. Unhallowed. The guy that did their cover art is Adam Wentworth. He's a guitarist and graphic artist. Previous band was Blood Horse. Current band is All Pigs Must Die. He did artwork. Wait. Hold on. Adam Wentworth. He's done. Yeah, Blood Horse, All Pigs Must Die. He's done guitars for God is War, Curse of Humanity, Silencer, Nothing Violates This Nature, Hostage Animal, and Acoustic Vision. And Jesus, he's been in a few bands, but like, in terms of other artwork, he's done artwork for his bands, obviously. And the Red Chord, Wormwood, a handful of others, including Black Dahlia's Unhallowed, their first album.
So it's got that. They made a patch of it.
Oh shit, that's incredible. That's a hoodie?
Yeah. So it's got that on the back of it, and on the sleeve it says Detroit Death Metal on it.
That's a hoodie?
Yeah. It's a pullover. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It's on
Indie merch store? Yeah, I'm gonna buy that.
And then they got like a different patch and stuff for it. So I actually hadn't seen any of this stuff.
That's sick.
So they've still got their regular, different like really. And I guess the thing to point out and like the difference between the art stuff is that his Dan Mumford stuff seems to be pretty like colored. There's a lot of different colors going on and stuff, and you can tell because something like that, is different than like a design like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I think there was somebody else that worked on that album cover as well, the Unhallowed. John Zig. He's been in some bands. He's currently in some bands. I've not heard of any of them. Burnt, Cadaverous, Recomposition, Degrade the Shapeless, Revenants. Yeah. But his fucking album artwork shit, he's done a lot. Let's see if there's any bands I know. No. Corpse fucking art. Cryptic Infection. Cum Beast. Dagger Spawn. Deadly Remains. Death Blow. Just to name a few. Just kind of going through here. Dying Fetus.
Oh, really?
Dude, Killing on Adrenaline and Grotesque Impalement.
That's cool.
Flesh Consumed.
Grotesque Impalement's one of my favorites.
Hell yeah.
It's an early one.
So, well, the guy that worked on some of the cover art for Black Dahlia's first also worked on some of that. Meat Hook, let's see. Yeah, not a lot that I actually know. Jeez. But he has done a lot. Check it out, people, on Metal Archives.
Oh, is that where you're... Okay.
Yeah, so I'm jumping through real quick, yeah. So, But all right, John Zig on Metal Archives. But anyway, so that was the first album. But see, John Zig vocals for Sarcolytic and Images of Violence. He's a big-time metal artist and responsible for the Black Dahlia Murder logo. So he's the one that made the logo. And then Miasma is a cover photo of downtown Las Vegas, and I could not find a photo credit for that image.
No.
Nocturnal. Necrolord. And Mark Riddick is what I wrote down. Mark Riddick, let's see this guy here. He's been in quite a number of bands, looks like. Fortified Zombie, a few others. Let's see what he's got in terms of album artwork, though.
I don't know why I knew exactly where this was at on your shit. You got it all ordered and shit.
Alphabetized.
So, one up me on that, because I take the time to do that.
I liked it.
It took me a long time. I'm sure it probably did, but...
What is that, Nocturnal?
Yeah. See if I can... Sometimes it says... Cover art by Kristen Whalen. Mark Riddick. So Riddick art, graphic execution by... So...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got more to say about Kristen Whalen in a minute. I'm just looking to see if this guy did anything else that I know. So far, I'm not finding anything. Nope. End of the line.
Definitely didn't know that he did their logo. That's kind of cool.
That's so yeah. Riddick, yeah, he's done a lot of other fucking metal. Deflorate, Tony Koehl Cole. He did that cover art. He does drums for Fishing for Neptune. In terms of other cover art that I have heard of, see, these are great. Look them up on Metal Archives, people. These are like 100 band long lists. I can't sit here and read them all, but
wow. I
will skim through them real quick to see if there's anyone of major note that is known to many. Pighead. Rings of Saturn. He did Embryotic Anomaly. That's a cool one.
What was the...
Black Dahlia, Deflorate. Yep, that's it. And then Ritual is Jean-Emmanuel Valnor Simulin is his name. Let's see, what other cover art? Cover art As I Lay Dying Awakened. Behemoth, The Satanist.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Morbid Angel, Nevermore, and the single, and Elude Divinium Insanus.
Oh,
the cover art for that. Paradise Lost. Let's see what else. The Black Dahlia Murder Ritual. Nothing else. Wolves in the Throne Room, Thrice Woven. Just talked about them earlier. Kind of cool. So, what was that? That was Ritual. And then Everblack was all the same guy. Abysmal was Daemorph. Daemorph is the name he goes by. He is a bassist for some bands, but let's see what other cover art he has done. Anything of major note? Habitual Depravity. What can I say?
What a name. What a name.
What can I say? But Nightbringers. Okay, so Kristen Whalen. Back to what was the other thing she did? We just talked about it. Oh well. I'll get to it because Another thing she also did was the cover for a little album released in 1995 called Slaughter of the Soul by At the Gates.
Oh, no shit.
Yes, indeed.
Which album?
Black Dahlia. She did Nocturnal and Nightbringers.
That. Okay.
Kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah,
actually, when you think about it, yeah. Damn.
I could definitely see that.
She's done a lot. She's done a handful of bands we actually know, though. Dark Funeral, Dark Tranquility. 1 second.
Wow.
Incubus. The Serpent Temptation. Iron Fire Thunderstorm.
I don't know why I never put those two together, to be honest.
Merciful Fate, Dead Again.
Wow.
Come on, I know there was more. There's a few more, actually. Maybe not. Nope, that was it. Merciful Fate was the big one, I guess. But yeah, Slaughter of the Soul, and yeah, kind of fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense, too.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why I never put those two together, but that makes a lot of sense. And also, it's funny to me that it's not really funny. It's just kind of the last Dark Funeral album that came out, and the cover for Nightbringers. If you make both of them blue, they look like they could be in the same like realm, like the same, like
yeah,
the
I could
same.
see that,
yeah,
actually. I
don't know if you saw it or whatever, but
I didn't see what you're talking about, but I could imagine that.
So.
So yeah, that is and now Dan Mumford here in this book that people can probably find, just called Black Dahlia Murder, Tomb X Dan Mumford 2007 to 2017. It's really great. I like it a lot.
I'm pretty sure that's the acronym for the band name. I think it does look like
What?
that. TBD looks like.
Damn. It does, doesn't it? That's crazy.
Yeah, I did look it up on that web store, and it is up on there. I think it was limited though.
Okay.
So, and that's kind of why I jumped on it, because I thought for sure that it was, and it might. I don't know if there's any left or whatever. Then I mean. So, it's cool though. They have a lot of references to old movies and like 80s horror and stuff. And the cool thing about the art book is that on the back of it kind of gives a little excerpt about what it is, I guess, and like
Oh yeah.
kind of describing the process of it. And so
that's awesome.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it is on indiemerchstore.com.
Yeah.
$34.99. Hell yeah, definitely worth it. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get that hoodie.
That is pretty sick.
Oh, it's sick. So, fucking A, man. We did it.
Yeah.
Ready to wrap this up?
Sure.
We're about to go check out, what's it called? 25 years.
I don't remember what the actual.
The new Amon Amarth DVD, ladies and gentlemen.
Which, if I just want to say that the actual album, the live version of it and stuff, it's on Spotify. I think it's there's 24 songs on it, because it's split up in two, because it's one show and then the other, but they just kind of combine the two in one big playlist or whatever. And it is just it's fucking sick.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to watch this documentary.
Yeah, because I know very little about them as how they started and everything. Like,
I don't know anything outside of what I saw in Sam Dunn's documentaries.
Yeah.
So, and it was very limited.
Yeah, so should be interesting.
Yes, it shall. And by the time this is up, well, maybe I'll post it tonight. Actually, I think I will. I'll probably post this tonight. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving 2018 right now.
Somehow.
Go Lions.
I don't know how. Yeah.
Detroit
yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
And
Super Bowl.
Be sure to...
I shouldn't have said that, because now it's not going to happen.
Super Bowl every year, baby. Be sure to check us out on Instagram, on Facebook, all the fun stuff. Lots of concert footage posted on those all the time. We got some holiday things. It's the holidays, Aaron.
Yeah.
Welcome to the holidays 2018.
Again.
So this will be a fun one.
Seems like we just went through this.
It really does. It really, really fucking does. But here we go again, in the words of White Snake. Weed's legal, everyone.
Hey.
Michigan 2018, weed's legal. Follow us on everything. Check us out. We'll be here. If you have any Dogman stories, send them our way. #Dogman. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Enjoy. Have a very happy, fun, safe Thanksgiving. And we will be back very soon. We love you all. Good night.
Peace.